Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody! This podcast proudly presents to you the zero-time tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg, JJ Brownlee, the Badass, JB Faulkner, Total Spotfest Live, with the ninth wonder of the world, Nick.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back to Total Spotfest Live. I am JJ Brownlee, and with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Jamie Faulkner.
How you doing, brother?
And we are, of course, graced again this week by the ninth wonder of the world, Nick.
Oh my God, I'm so glad to be here, guys.
You're so full
Oh,
of
look at
shit.
the excitement from Ninth Wonder. I didn't even give you a roaring introduction.
Oh man, it's all good. It's all good. We got good stuff to talk about this week.
We got lots of good stuff to talk about. A pay-per-view over the weekend. NXT, was this a return to form, return to pre-pandemic NXT? Oh, we're going to talk about it. Lots of wrestling besides that over the weekend we had. Impact No Surrender was on point. New Japan is all up in American wrestling now. All sorts of stuff we're going to get to. Jamie, Nick, how are you guys doing? How's your week been thus far?
Frigid. It's been very frigid.
We don't live in Texas, so there's that. Sorry to all those out there who do live in Texas. I feel for you.
You know, I was doing really good. I was just feeling really awesome, and then Monday happened, and my bracket got blown apart.
You got destroyed.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
It was bad.
he's talking about the AEW Women's Eliminator World Cup #1 Contender Championship Tournament. It's too long of a damn name. We're gonna get into that later.
See, that's why you got to do like me, Jamie. Only pick one, and then it's just a coin toss. For the record, I did lose, but there's not as much disappointment. There's some disappointment.
It's the college bracketology person in me that wants to do it the whole way. And you know what? No, I done messed up. Ron, it was bad. Like it was bad. Like the room bad.
I love the fact that Nick's like, just pick the one. That's what I did. Now I lost that one, so I got 0 now. But
You just it's all a matter of keeping the disappointment proportionate. That's all.
lower them expectations.
That's exactly right.
Let's go like WWE style on this. Lower those expectations.
That's exactly right.
Ooh.
Woo! Yeah.
Well, before we get into the actual takeover, we're gonna talk about takeover. We're gonna talk about WWE for the past week, and then we'll talk about the AEW women's Japanese side of the women's tournament. I do want to spend just a couple minutes because there was a lot of goings on with the wrestling world this past weekend. So besides takeover, there was also an Impact pay-per-view, which was really good, and I, straight up, complete truth, I did not watch it live. I kind of followed along with it on Twitter and thought to myself, damn, I should have bought that pay-per-view because tons of good stuff going on. Private Party did not win. No titles changed hands, but Private Party showed up in a really kick-ass triple threat with the Good Brothers. There was all sorts of great matches, men and women, all over the place. Jake Something is now back to being called Jake Something. He was Cousin Jake, and he's now back to using the favorite moniker, chant of one Jamie Faulkner, the "What's my name?" beating your chest.
Yeah. Hashtag Journey Pro KC. We still love you. We want you back.
It was. I don't want to get too many like old stories, but this is a fantastic story. So, Nick, I don't think you were there for this particular Journey Pro, but Jeremy Wyatt, who's the Gateway champion for, give me the promotion, Jamie. I can't forget.
St. Louis Anarchy, 860 plus days.
Yeah, he's about ready. He's about ready to pass our favorite Gary fucking Jay for the all-time lead and the most days in that belt. But he's the champion. It's kind of a sister promotion to Journey Pro. So he was facing off in the main event against Jake something, and it was and Jeremy Wyatt's a fantastic wrestler. He does hour-long technical matches. So at the end of a long night in a bar wrestling promotion, it can be a bit draining, I will say, is my one negative. But he's facing off against Jake something, and we were getting tired. The whole bar was getting tired at this point. It's like 11 o'clock at night. We've been there for like 4.5 hours, and Jake, trying to get the crowd back up, kept going, "What's my name?" You yell out back something. After the 17th one, Jamie just like, "I can't take this anymore. I can't take this thing."
Yeah, I'm like, who fucking cares?
Is that what you went with?
Yeah, I think I went with a couple different variations. I think, of course, I did with my patented lion tamer retort.
Yeah.
I think that was number one, and then I'm not your buddy guy. I think was probably
Dude,
thrown out there.
JJ loves that one.
Oh God, that's good. Nails on chalkboard. We're not gonna get. I don't want to get too many old school stories, but yeah, I don't think you were there. Were you there with us that night, Nick?
No, I was not there that night.
I think you had your daughters that night, and I can't remember what it was, but it's something. But anyway, so he's back to Jake something, which is great. He looked really good too, by the way. Their X Division reminds me of the old school X Division. I gotta find a way to get access. I don't have access on YouTube TV, and God, it's just. The Impact has gotten so much better from like the post TNA days and the Billy Corgan whateverness. So it was real good. So that was going on, and then it ties into probably the biggest happening in American professional wrestling lately is that at the end of No Surrender, there was a video package that came up, and none other than Finn Juice, which is Juice Robinson, David Finlay, coming to Impact. They are a very popular tag team from New Japan Pro Wrestling. As we're taping this, it's Tuesday night. Earlier tonight on Impact's regular show on Axis, they should have actually made their debut. I haven't checked it out yet. So that's, once again, that forbidden door is just wide open. So they're on Impact now, or at least appearing part-time on Impact. But Impact... New Japan is just like all over the rumor mill about what's coming to America. There was a talk from Metzger. Dave Metzger said that Okada is going to be coming to either AEW or Impact, which, holy shit, the Rainmaker in America. Yes, please.
I hear that coin drop. I might shit my pants.
If I hear that coin drop, I will lose my shit. I absolutely will lose my shit. Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
Gotta buy some Depends.
Oh, so good. And then on Twitter there's a bunch of stuff, like because of this forbidden door just being wide open, and now Impact and AEW are just pulling out all the stops. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan in America. Still a good time for NXT as well. NXT announced new signings. One Jimmy will talk about, but also was announced over the not like official, like not NXT Twitter official, but pretty much everybody has confirmed that Tara Valkyrie signing with NXT. Not a big surprise. Her husband. Her husband is of course Jim. I was gonna say Jim Morrison, but
no, he OD'd a long time ago.
That's definitely not right. That's definitely not right. John Morrison. God, it feels like a Monday. I don't know why, but no, his husband's of course John Morrison, and not a big surprise there. And then the last bit of news info that I want to get to, and there's this very specific reason why I wanted to bring this up before we talk about NXT, and that is that apparently WWE is not giving any raises or bonuses to any of their workers. Not necessarily the talent, but those who do the production and your staff and all that, all your backstage people. These people who had voluntarily taken a pay cut during the pandemic survived the round of layoffs, despite the fact that WWE made more money than they've ever made in 2020. They are told they are not getting any raises or bonuses for 2021. And that just turned the temperature way down in the entire backstage. Now it's a total... Is
that what that was about? I was wondering.
It kind of, yeah. So it's and it's all over the place now. Like spirits were real high, and then this came out, and it went way down. And you will not believe how this was actually announced to the people that actually worked there. Bruce Pritchett,
God damn it,
tasked somebody who has been with the company for a month to break this news to everybody in a one giant meeting.
And they did it right before they went out too, didn't they?
Yes. So they did, yeah, they did, or they did. I don't know specifically when they did, but I know that, instead of, it wasn't Vince and it wasn't Bruce Pritchett. Bruce Pritchett tasked somebody who's been hired by WWE 30 days ago to come out in front of all of their workers, the people, hardworking people who put on the show, and tell them, you're not getting a raise or a bonus this year.
I hate Bruce Pritchard. I hate him. I hate Vince. And when we talk about Raw, you're going to hear it.
Oh, we got things in store with Raw. Don't you worry about that. So anyway, I had to give that to you because I'm not sure if you had heard that, Jamie, and I heard that.
Yeah.
And go, oh, that's gonna get Jamie so fired.
I hadn't heard that. I'm
It
not
is a
surprised.
complete super dick move.
But-
Like Vincent Kennedy McMahon in his goddamn ivory tower, just sitting there like, oh, let them eat cake. Totally Marie Antoinette the shit. And I hope, philosophically he gets his head cut off, not literally, because that would just
We don't wish that on anybody,
but,
not even him.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I hope
Yeah.
there is just some kind of revolt, something happens, like a legit Stone Cold Steve Austin type that comes out, legit brings Bruce Pritchard out in the middle of the ring and legit stuns him and just beats the shit out of him, and then beats the shit out of Vince McMahon, and this says deuces, I quit, and never goes into wrestling ever again. And that guy would be the ultimate icon of all time.
Now that I've turned your blood pressure up about 30 points, got you nice and hot. Let's talk about some actual good wrestling to kind of bring it back down. Okay.
Okay.
So Jamie's gonna take us through TakeOver Vengeance Day.
Yes. And Mamma Mia, it was an amazing pay-per-view.
So good.
Which, first off, publicly want to apologize to Nick. We were unable to make it because the road sucked here in Kansas City. We got a whole bunch of snow and ice. I felt like a dick, so I'm publicly apologizing on our podcast.
I do too, and I still want that spread, but we'll have to do it at another time. So whatever you guys stick in the freezer,
It's
I'll
all
be there
good.
later.
It's all good. We just sat here surrounded by wings and watched. We watched Austin Powers. We didn't even watch the pay-per-view.
I was so excited too because he told us that he has an assortment of wings, different.
Oh,
types,
dude.
and I love me some chicken wings.
I have
can
so
put
many
down
wings still.
Well, don't worry, we'll
We'll work it out.
Yeah, stick in the freezer. I'll be there.
Yeah, if I gave a shit about Elimination Chamber, we can figure something out.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
All right. So let's get back to some really good fucking wrestling. So NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day happened, and it was banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. Like, it was just top flight matches all the way across. There was not one single dud. And personally, and we'll get into this, I found it incredibly hard to find the match of the night, the match that stole the show, because all of them were so fucking good in their own right. So
I've got one for me, but they were all fantastic.
It reminded me of NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
that's exactly what I thought too.
That good.
Yeah. So, and this is how, just mind you, this is before the show even started, they set the tone. And they set the tone in a way that just got me just jazzed up. So a few of you hopefully know from, Impact and other places, one Eli Drake. So Eli Drake is now signed with NXT, and he's going by LA Knight, which automatically thinks of the British Knight shoes. I don't know why, or the LA, the LA whatever shoes. They're the first ones that ever, LA Gears, that lit up. But whatever, that's my mind association going dumb. Homeboy cut a huge ass promo, just straight took over the pre-show. It was beautiful. I mean,
He's so good. I'm
titillating.
So happy for that.
Titillating. That good.
I mean, that's how you start off a show.
Yes, that just set the tone. And then right after that, the very first match of the night was the women's Dusty Cup final of Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. So
one of the big things, of course, I'm a nerd this way. Ember Moon came out with Shotzi on Shotzi's new tank, which I like her old tank better than her new tank, but hey, whatever, I digress. But she came out, and I swear she looked like she was wearing her old gear. Like, it had the same feel, because her recent gear was definitely not that. She was wearing more like leg tights, and this one felt more like old Ember. And old Ember delivered. Like, it was old Ember. Like, she didn't have ring rust. She looked solid. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, they both look great too. So I'll get to the kind of the chase on this, and then we'll recap it, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it. But the winners of the match were Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez with one of the biggest one-arm power bombs I've seen Raquel Gonzalez deliver. Like, holy shit, I felt that in my own teeth. Like, it was crazy. Hell of a match. If I was to rate this match, first match of the night, 4 stars. Like, boom, almost a 5-star match. A bigger crowd would have definitely got there. My spot of the night was when Raquel Gonzalez power bombed Shotzi Blackheart into the glass. I don't know what she did.
That was great.
The glass with the chain link.
It just fell like a ton of bricks. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, Shotzi's got a high tolerance of pain, I guess.
Yeah, that was great.
Yes, she does.
Jesus. So, you guys, how do you feel about this match?
I liked it a lot. That part that you just mentioned was fantastic. Probably the pop for me, and it wasn't brutal by any means. It was just one of those acrobatic moments that stood out, and I wasn't expecting it. And maybe I should have been expecting it, but I wasn't. Was when who was it? It was Dakota Kai was outside the ring. She'd just gotten thrown out, and then Ember Moon's standing up on the ropes, and then Shotzi comes flying in between her legs and takes out Dakota Kai again. That was probably my favorite part of that match in particular. But overall, it was great, and to everything Jamie said, I agree wholeheartedly.
See, and I totally thought, especially after last week, and my critique from last week, as you guys know, I was not the kindest to Ember and Shotzi, who I do like both individually. I especially like Shotzi, but I had a lot of criticism about them. Ring rust, not really meshing well together, sloppy match against The Way, whatever.
Yeah.
And completely 180'd on this. I thought this was going to be, of all the 5 matches, it's probably going to be the lowest match, and it definitely was not. From the opening bell, it was just set off. I don't like their tank either. I don't like the new tank, and here's why. It's too practical.
Fair.
It fits 2 people. Her old tank was great because it was so small and weird, and kind of, it just goes with the kind of the oddness of Shotzi Blackheart. This thing here is nice and big, and it fits her comfortably, and I don't know. Anyway, they were well together. There were spots all over the place. I'm still all in on Raquel Gonzalez. I will stand by my statement last week that I think that she is the next coming of China. I think that she came out looking the best because she's only really been on the scene, like officially in front of the camera, for about a year, because it was Portland when she debuted for the most part, and so only about a year, and she's looking this good. They get a shot now at Nia and Shayna Baszler, which I'll have thoughts on that later.
My hole.
For Nia. That was supposed to be a joke. Never mind. Nia. Fuck you guys. But no. So they get a shot against them. I'll tell you what, that actually turns out to be a really great matchup there. Because here's Raquel Gonzalez, somebody that Nia won't necessarily murder, and the past storyline between Shayna and Dakota, that's great long-term payout. So I loved this. I thought this was the way you start TakeOver. Start off, I say again, 4 stars. I'm with you. Great start.
So then we go from that match to what I know JJ and I think Nick were on the same wavelength. This could be the match of the night. This could be the show stealer of the North American Championship of Joey Gargano and Kushida.
Johnny Gargano, maybe?
Johnny. That's what I said, didn't I?
You totally said Joey.
Ah, fuck it.
Dude, fun fact, I had a buddy of mine in high school. His name is Joey Gargano.
Perfect. See,
Yeah.
see, that's what I was talking about the whole time, guys. Whole time. So Gargano comes out. He's walking out with the way, and then Austin Theory gets abducted while they're trying to walk out, which I thought was
He got chloroformed. It was
silly.
fantastic.
It was silly. It was perfect because like you knew this match was going to go down. But the thing about this match that kind of blew me away, because I've watched dozens, if not into the 100 area of Johnny Gargano matches. And Johnny Takeover, Johnny Wheelchair, if you will, he usually comes at a different style. And you could tell, like, this match for me, I felt like I was watching New Japan. Like,
Oh, yeah.
tons of submission attempts, really strong style here, you know, some flurries, everything. It was a thing of beauty. It was just an amazing match all the way through. Gargano did end up beating Kushida straight, like no help, no nothing. He won clean, which that surprised the shit out of me, to be honest with you. I was expecting something.
Yeah.
But he did win clean, so that kind of did make Kushida look kind of weak, but that was the negative of the match, because I mean there's lots of good stuff. Like hell, Kushida hitting the one arm the chicken wing suplex like right off the bat, like boom. It was like, oh shit,
Right.
like things are going down, like this is gonna be nuts. And they set this whole level, and then all these crazy ass submission attempts that both of them were doing. Like, I'm a sucker for a good submission. I think we all know that. Hashtag line tamer.
Sure.
But god damn, they were just pumping out things I've never seen before in a day in my life. I'm like, I want more of this. I want more of this on American TV.
It was a clinic for sure. It took me a little minute to get into it. Yeah, it started a little slow for me, but that may just be because my expectations were so high. But it definitely delivered the whole way through.
It paced really well. I mean, I agree with you that it definitely felt more like a New Japan type of match because of the way it was paced. High spots, but lots of technical submissions. Reversal City. I mean, Kushida did some of the most like physics bending reverses I think I've ever seen. Like reversing a pile driver suplex into a double DDT, reverse back, 1.5 arm behind. It just weird. I was like, how's that even possible stuff? I'm a little frustrated, I will say, Jamie, that Kushida's now been in NXT for 2 years. This is his first title shot, his first actual push. And they kind of leave him at this point where it's like, well, where does he go now? Is he going to stay in this feud with Gargano, which I don't think he would. I don't know. That's kind of beyond the point. But the match itself was as advertised. It was a complete banger. It was Spotfest. It was great.
Yeah, so I give this a 4.5 stars personally. But the move of the night for me was that Spanish fly into a goddamn arm bar. I'm
Spanish fly
what the
into
fuck
an
is
arm
this?
bar.
And I want more of it in my life. Because
I know.
goddamn. Like, I got all giddy. Like, nipples hard. Oh, my God. This is amazing.
My nipples didn't get hard, but I was excited.
Your nipples are hard right now. Shut the fuck up.
Well, I mean, I'm hanging out with you guys, so.
You're excited. Feel these nipples. All right. So after this match, we went right into the men's Dusty Cup finals of MSK versus the diaper-wearing grizzled young veterans. I still think Zach Gibson wears a freaking diaper. The more I see it, the more I think it. It's just ridiculous. So I kind of feel like this was the match of the night.
Dude, me too. 100%.
But it's so hard to pick one. Like, that's the thing about this. So this match was paced at an breakneck speed. Like, it was an adrenaline shot. You just kept going. There was no let up. There was no slowdown. If it was maybe for like 30 seconds of the match. It was
not a match where you could go to the fridge and get a beer real quick in the middle.
No.
It was so much stuff.
Your eyes
Dude,
were
I watched
glued.
it 3 times because I was afraid I missed something. 3 times I watched this match.
Yeah, so It was sick. Like, that's all there is to it. If you have not watched it, do yourself a favor and watch it. If you're not going to watch it, then, enjoy time in hell, because this match is so damn good. The winner of the match was MSK. So MSK is the official Dusty Cup Men's Final Champions. I give this match 5 stars personally. Gents?
Absolutely. I'm with you.
I'd probably say 4 3/4.
Just to be conservative about it, just in case.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, I don't like throwing out. I don't like throwing out the 5-star unless it's something that like blows my mind. Like
when you're tearing up.
Right, like the Escalada de la Muerta, where there was
Okay.
I
understand.
Omega and Page versus Young Bucks. Those are,
I understand.
So 4 3/4 to me is what the normal person, and I don't mean to call you normal, but what what anybody else would say 5 stars. I would just, I reserve that personally, but. 3 things I want to just talk here. Then Nick, I want you to chime in on what you thought, because 1, Wesley is not human. He's just not human, and maybe they're holding it back because we saw bits of that in their other matches. But my God, what is in his Wheaties? I want to know that. It's the best MSK has looked. I'm going to say that too, since they've been in there. Maybe it's because they weren't talking at all. That helped a lot.
Yeah, they look like a couple rascals.
Yeah. And my move of the night was in this match. It was a Tope Suicida Doomsday Device on the outside.
Yes, love that match. Oh, so good. So good.
That's the spot of the night for me right there. That Tope Suicida Doomsday Device. Please, more of that.
My spot of the night is not yet. It's actually in the next match. But
okay. All right, Nick, other thoughts on this guy?
So I'm going to be honest with you, fellas. I had no idea who the hell MSK was before this. And they made me ashamed of that, like, after watching this match. And then so I went and I looked at them like, man, these guys just showed up in NXT like a month ago. And I get that they've been around in the indie circuit and they were in Impact for a while, but NXT really stole these guys from everybody else. They're that good. And I am very pleased that they just went ahead and shot straight up to win this right out of the gate, because they absolutely deserve it. I don't know what their mic skills are like, but my God, their wrestling skills are just beyond the pale. Everything was so good.
Yeah, they're Lance Storm, man. They're totally Lance Storm. You could wrestle all day long, but don't put a mic in their hand.
Okay, well they'll just
Wesley's okay, but their combined mic skills are their timing in the ring does not reflect their timing on the mic. Let me just say that.
Yeah. That's an excellent way to put it. No, I was super impressed with them. I don't know what the hell MSK stands for. I guess we'll probably find out, but I really enjoyed this match, and I look forward to seeing them wrestle more.
Ditto. All right, so now we are on to the co-main event. And
wait.
Oh God, you're gonna make me talk about him, aren't you?
I'll talk. You forgot one of the most fantastic spots of the night. I say that partly facetiously because you hate this so much, but Cameron Grimes.
God damn it! No, it's my turn. We're not talking about it.
Cameron Grimes has a rap video now for his Eat My Grits. Watch it on YouTube. It's fucking great. All right, go for it, Jamie.
No, it's not great. Don't give this guy a push. No.
He's getting super pushed, man. I am on the Cameron Grimes bandwagon.
All right, so here's the deal. I'm gonna bash him until he wins the title, and if he ever wins the title, I will buy his shirt, and then I will publicly apologize on here and on our Twitter at Total Spotfest. That's at Total Spotfest on Twitter. Yes, I will publicly just eat crow and talk about how great he is if he ever wins a title. You guys can mark it down. It's a thing. But until then, screw him and his stupid ass stonk thing. Because he should have held like the rest of us space apes. But nope. He sold out because he's a bitch.
It's all like Donkey Kong. Okay, Twitter. We gotta hit.
Yeah.
We gotta hit
Put that up on Twitter.
Let's do this because
Put that thing up there.
I want to see you in his shirt just for spite.
Yeah, I know you do. All right.
I thought it was great. But go ahead.
So on to actually something good that happened at NXT. Was the women's championship, the co-main event of Io Shirai going against Toni Storm, going against Mercedes Martinez. If you had to pick the worst match of the night, which is incredibly hard to do because all of them were good, I unfortunately am going to have to put this one in that category for myself.
Yeah.
Not that it wasn't a good match, because it was a good match. It just, I don't know, like compared to everything else, it just didn't hit the mark like the other ones did. It still hit, but it just didn't hit as hard, I guess. It's like, you know, when you're a kid and you thought Limp Bizkit was really good, and then you grew up, you know. It just doesn't hit the same, right? It hit the back. It
does not.
So
it does not.
All right, so you know, it was a good match overall. My spot of the night, before we even get to the end of it, was, and I can confirm this, my sources have confirmed this, that Toni Storm did in fact put John Cena through the announcer table in the match. I don't know if anybody saw that, but you saw her straight put him through that table. It fell completely there. Too bad you can't see John Cena, but it happened. That was my spot of the night. Hashtag Botch Club. Thank you very much.
That was so funny. It was interesting because I heard Triple H come on the media call after the post to TakeOver media call and, you know, talk about that botch, because it wasn't a botch on anybody's fault. It was a botch on the table. And of course, you know, Bear's trying to sell it off like, oh, well, MSK and, you know, because young veterans hit the table so hard, it loosened it. It's like, shut up, Bear. We know the truth. But he confirmed that the match was supposed to be 8 minutes longer is what it was billed as. Mm-hmm. That's supposed to be a big, so whatever that was going to be a big turning point spot that's going to lead to a whole other arc. And you could tell, especially Toni Storm, after that table kind of fell apart, was a little bit lost.
Yeah, she definitely was. You could see it immediately.
You could see, and I'm with you. This is probably the worst of the matches here. That's a very high bar still. If this was the worst match, this is a match that on a Raw or SmackDown pay-per-view would be like the headliner, you know, as good as it was. But comparatively, it wasn't. And you know, I wish we would have been able to see that additional 8 minutes. But on the other hand, it is good to get a little bit of a reprieve when you're going through this much unbelievableness in one pay-per-view. You know,
it's a fair point.
Yeah. So to summarize, Io Shirai did successfully defend it, and actually the ending was pretty sick. So Mercedes Martinez was getting covered by Toni after Toni hit Storm Zero, and then Io did a moonsault off the top, which actually looked like she hit Mercedes Martinez's knee pretty damn hard. But then
stiff.
It looked pretty hard, and then she got the cover 1, 2, 3, and Io retained. So my question is to you, gentlemen, who's next? Like, I mean, not Goldberg style, but you know what I'm saying. Like, who's next for Io?
For Io, you mean?
Yeah, for Io. Who's next for Io?
If she weren't tied to Dakota Kai, I'd go with Raquel, but she is. So
until at least they wrap up the whole tag team title thing, which. My inclination is they won't put the tag titles in NXT. Just right or wrong, they probably won't do that.
Yeah.
So even though technically it makes more sense as the best women's division in wrestling, give them more titles to play with. But whatever, I digress. I don't know, to be honest with you, because who's left? Candice LeRae has had ad nauseum shots. She hasn't been able to do it. Shotzi had a shot. You think she'd be up there. Ember Moon? Maybe she gets a push. Maybe Xia Li now. That would be interesting to see. I would love to see Xia Li and Io Shirai. You know, China versus Japan. You know, this kind of new warrior princess with the. I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
But you know, I don't know really. I hate to even say it like this because I very rarely have issues with the long-term plans with a lot of NXT, but. They've almost painted Io into a corner here that who can beat her? I don't know. Maybe Xia? I don't know.
Valkyrie. I'm calling it now.
You think she's going to debut and just go straight into that? Maybe Mania weekend?
Yep. I think they start it on Wednesday between those two, and she takes it from her.
Okay.
Because she's the only one. She's the only one who she hasn't. Io has legit beat every damn person other than Raquel Gonzalez. Like, she has beaten everybody except for Taylor.
I think she's beating Raquel Gonzalez in like a triple threat too. So.
Oh yeah, well then there you go. Then she's legit.
Technically, she had. Who is left for her to beat? That's a great,
Yeah, because I think the Xia Li thing they're gonna do with the Casey Catanzaro and Cadence, whatever her name is.
Carter.
Yeah, Caden Carter. I think they're gonna end up doing a program, but yeah, it just makes sense for Valkyrie be the person, in my opinion.
Right. It makes me a slight bit nervous because, remember, this is kind of where they ended up with before Becky Lynch ended up going off to have a baby and whatnot. But they had more or less done the same thing with Becky Lynch, where there was nobody left for her to fight. She beat everybody, so she just was the champion, just kind of there, And it makes me slightly bit nervous because I fear that they will take the belt, just drop it to whoever, and then move her up to the main roster, where she'll get buried. So I hope that's not the case, but I got that bad feeling, because Io's probably my favorite women's wrestler in NXT by far.
Agreed.
So
I'm right there with you.
We'll see what happens, but I like that Tara Valkyrie angle. I think that'd be good. She's got to have a real opponent though, and as much as I love Io, she's got to drop the belt, or it's starting to get to the point where you don't even believe, like did you guys during this match, let me ask both of you, did you think before or during the match that Martinez or Storm were going to walk out of there with the title at all?
No way.
No. It never crossed my mind, to be honest with you.
It's like watching a Roman Reigns match. He's not going to lose, so what's the point?
Yeah, and the thing is too, like, we all know, like, as wrestling fans, it's more about the chase than actually getting it. So, like, the rise of Becky Lynch, it was about the chase, getting to that point. Because when we knew at WrestleMania, we knew she's going to get it. And then what happens after she gets it? Like, she's done it all now. Like, and they've done that to so many people. Like, that's what they did so right with Stone Cold. It was about the chase. He'd get it, and then he wouldn't get it because something would happen. And then the chase continues. And then he finally did get it, and then they found a way to screw him over to create the chase. Like, that's what they probably need to do, is find a way to screw her over. But they don't have anything set to do that. William Regal is not that guy. So, I think
she's not in that Josie Judas anymore, where it's like now she's complete face, even though her character really isn't a face character. So how do you screw her over? Who does it? Nobody hates her.
Valkyrie has to come in.
Would be the one.
That would be the best setup. But since we're not creative and we're just fans, we're just marking out right now.
We're speculating, but it'll be fun to see when she debuts. I can't wait for that.
So, all right. So let's just get back on track for the finale of TakeOver, which match of the night, for all the different reasons than the MSK match. This is for the championship, Finn Balor and Pete Dunne. I actually did pick Pete Dunne in an upset just because I knew no way in hell he's actually going to win, but I just wanted to be that guy.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. Great freaking match. Like, I can't say enough about how technically amazing this match really was.
Clinic.
It was, yeah. Like, again, like, so we saw Japanese style wrestling, we saw American Spotfest wrestling, and now we get grade A English style wrestling. Control the mat, submissions that are meant to inflict pain, which those guys sold the shit out of all of it. Like, I have to give it up to Pete Dunne. He sold his knee injury so much, which, I'm not going to get into the fact that he did look like a carrot. Megan actually pointed out to me, she's like, does he look kind of orange? I'm like, yeah, with the green kick pads, holy shit. But yeah, so it's God, it was beautiful. It ends up obviously Balor retains, but that's not the big thing. Let's talk about the match, and then we'll talk about what happened right after the match.
Before you get to that, I do want to say, because it was a technical clinic, I will say this, that I can understand where there might be some who maybe aren't as big into British wrestling scene, or British strong style as it's called, UK wrestling. the pace of it is a slower pace intentionally. It doesn't have this. It's a lot more of that long story arc, the kind of flowing, like very matte based and finger, spots, and then picking a piece and tearing it apart of your opponent. So I can understand that. I am not the hugest fan of British strong style, so I like to have a match with a good setup. So starts off slow, builds up, gets to the crescendo, and then just fucking plateaus at ridiculous levels. That's my preferred match. MSK was that. It was basically at the plateau the whole time. Gargano and Kushida was very much followed a similar kind of curvature arc. This was very much a more methodical path upward. So I get that. During the match, I felt at times, just because, like I said, it's not necessarily my biggest cup of tea, British strong style, but I felt at times that this was, until what happened afterwards, I thought this whole thing is just filler for Karrion Kross. I know it. It's like, that's all they're going to do. It's like this, Finn's going to feud with Karrion Kross, and I felt bad for Dunn because he was putting in a technical clinic. So I thought it was great, but like I said, it wasn't necessarily my personal favorite style of match. So that's why it's not a 5-star match for me. It's a 4-star, solid 4-star, but that's what I thought.
Yeah, I agree for the most part. It's definitely one of those matches where you're not getting huge spots by any means, but these guys are technicians, and so when you're watching them work and it's just all killer, no filler, you can't walk away with anything but total respect for what they did and their craft. So it was an excellent match, loved it, but yeah, it's not going to be fireworks at different places. So I think you summed it up pretty nicely, JJ.
It's like watching an old Bret Hart match. Like,
that's exactly what it's
the
like.
excellence
exactly
of execution. Like
it was,
and I love that stuff. Like, I geek out on all the styles. I enjoy the different styles. I gave this a 4.5 personally.
Well, this whole pay-per-view, before you wrap it up here at the last bit, I don't want to just talk about that, Jamie, because this pay-per-view had what you needed. You had 2 great women's matches. One of them, unfortunately, got spoiled a little bit because of, the table botch, but you had good women's wrestling. You had 3 very distinctive types of styles of matches, like you said. There's one that felt like a Japanese style, one that was very much the American Spotfest, and this British strong style. You got something. If you liked wrestling and you have a certain type of wrestling, you saw it on this pay-per-view in one way or another. That's such a smart booking. I don't know when the last time somebody did that for real. Like, give you that many different types of ice cream on the same plate.
Yeah. No, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, just basket. Okay, well then, there. Other than basket. Okay, fuck it. My analogy just went down the drain. Move on.
You're welcome. Okay, so right after the match happened, this is when it gets really, 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 really good. So the Undisputed Era comes out. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly.
Well, first.
Oh, sorry.
No, first. No, they didn't come out first. Remember?
Oh,
it was Lorcan and Birch. Finn was backing out of the ring.
Sorry, my fault. Lorcan and Birch. My bad. Lorcan and Birch come out, and they start trying to beat the hell out of Finn. Then Undisputed Era comes out to make the save. That's what happened. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
I just want to get to the end.
I just want
to get to the end. So they come out, make the save. Orny Lorcan and Oni Lorcan. Sorry, Orny. Jesus. They get them out of there. And then it's Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and why can't I think of his name?
Strong.
Roderick Strong. Thank you. They're in there and they're standing right by Balor. They get him up. And freaking Adam Cole super kicks Finn Balor right in the chops. And it was beautiful because right before that, because he's had beef with Undisputed Era for a while. He was talking to Kyle O'Reilly, and Kyle was like, hey, come on, we got you. Kyle helps him up. And then boom, he hits him right after that. He's just like, what? And Kyle kind of gets his face, I can't even talk, and Adam Cole's face, and because I'm so excited, I'm sorry. Straight super kicks Kyle O'Reilly in the face. And then he's trying to talk to Roderick Strong, like, come on, come with me. And Strong actually stayed in the ring, and Adam Cole left the ring. But he not only super kicked Finn Balor in the face, but he got Kyle O'Reilly. So my question is, and I think we know the answer to this, is it the end of the Undisputed Era?
That's a fantastic question, because the take on it that I had too, and my personal favorite in all of that, was Roderick Strong, because it was great how they did it. You know, there's this whole like jealousy angle, and you could see it brewing for weeks about how much they respect each other, Kyle and Finn. And when they were kind of doing their little love fest before he got super kicked, I was like, no, let's not have these two go at it again. in a match that's gonna be 30 minutes and be great, but have Finn win and, you know, break another bone in Kyle O'Reilly's body. Let's not do that. But you can see them building it up for weeks. And it's always kind of just like, if you look, and I didn't really notice it as well, but you go back and look at some of the old stuff, you can see the kind of the jealousy in Adam Cole's eyes. So great how he did it. But he kicks Kyle O'Reilly, and then Roderick Strong is like the lost puppy. He's like that child. Parents got divorced. They're sitting at the mall. One's at Sbarro, and the other one is at Auntie Annie's, and he doesn't know where the fuck to go to get his food. That's what he's just like. So is Adam Cole blowing up the Undisputed Era? Is he kicking out Kyle O'Reilly? Bobby Fish, is he going to come back like that guy who's been on vacation and then realizes his wife's been cheating on him? Like, what the fuck just happened? I mean, I loved every second of this once the kick started flying. And I loved Roderick Strong the best, because therein lies the biggest part of the story. Everybody's like, oh, you Undisputed Era is dead. It's dead. It's dead. Is it? Is it changing, though?
Yeah.
It's changing. I got a better question for you, though, guys. What the hell's the point of being the NXT champion if all you're going to do is get jumped after the match and kicked in the face? He got carried out on a stretcher.
You need a stable.
What the hell's...
You need to have a stable. NXT, you need to have a stable. Because if you don't, you're going to get the shit kicked out of you every week. Or you're carrying cross. And then you have the Scarlett Bordeaux just, you know... Yeah, that's all you need.
Settle down there. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta sparse that
Scarlett
out
does
a little
that to
bit.
people.
Yeah. So,
So what do you do now? Karrion Kross, Finn, because Finn Balor's still champion. Obviously, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly is a thing that would make a stupid WrestleMania takeover weekend. You know, like Falls Count Anywhere, blood feud, sure, but Karrion Kross is in. I mean, now. What we thought was one of their weaknesses for the past several months, because everybody was injured or hurt or out or whatever, now that title picture is looking good, because there's angles upon angles upon angles.
So one of the things I do want to point out, though, and it was honestly it was the day after, and one of the things that happens is Adam Cole, he streams, and right before he started his stream, he talked about it. Like, he only said one thing about it, and that was it. And then he went on and acted like nothing happened, which is a total heel move, and I applaud him so much for that. But he basically said, I had to do it. It was right. What I did was absolutely right. And then he just went on and did his thing. So he definitely planted a seed there. Like, I can't put my finger on what the end game is, and I love that, because typically, as you know, WWE, is very obvious what's going to happen. Like, we don't know if the Undisputed Era is done, and I pray to God they're not, because I freaking love that. And if they get rid of the boom, so help me God, I'm going to cry myself to sleep probably a few nights, because that is just such a great entrance and how they do it. And man, like, they can't break it up.
Just imagine the pop if there was a full audience there for that. Oh my God.
People would have lost their damn mind. Yeah, they would have lost their damn minds. Instead of the 67 people that were in attendance.
I say Adam Cole walks. He's leaving.
I think what they're...
It could be anything.
So I think they're going to probably set up this. This is what I think they're going to set up. They're going to set up a tag team match first of Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor versus Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. And because Roderick Strong's conflicted, but he's still going with his boss, you know, his faction boss, if you will. And then something happens, and I think Adam Cole and them are going to lose, and Adam Cole's going to take it out on Roderick Strong. He's going to super kick him, and then Kyle O'Reilly and all them come to the defense. And then, yes, at that point, the Undisputed Era will be dead, or he'll just get new people, which they got plenty of new talent. He could easily rebuild it. I don't know. Thoughts?
Anything's up in the air. I don't want to make I want to see this week's NXT before I make any sort of predictions, because
Fair.
It's still, that's our last little taste of everything. So I want to, it could be even as far as, and this is really reaching, I know, that he dumps them, picks up Dunn and Logan and Birch as the new Undisputed to spite them. I don't know. It could be anything. So let's wait and see. I think most likely, I agree with Nick. I think he's going to go solo. He's his own man. Kind of like Tommaso, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was Vengeance Day, and Bruce Pritchard was not involved because Bruce Pritchard was too busy sabotaging his current workforce and Monday Night Raw.
But having a newbie do it though.
Yeah. This is what we're gonna do. I need you to go out there and tell these people that they're not getting raises or bonuses. Oh, why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? It's simple, man. It's your job, man. Vince told me personally to tell you.
Do you want to
he
keep
thinks
this
so
job?
much of you. Yeah. Do you like what you do? Because if you make me do this, I gotta tell Vince, and you know that's not gonna end well for you. Just fucking do it, okay? For all of us. Insane. All right. So, JJ, you're gonna recap.
And before we do that, we wanted to do match of the night. What was your match? What was your match or your moment of the night from?
Yeah, match of the night, Nick.
MSK versus them other guys.
Hashtag diaper bottom.
The diaper duo.
The ones with incontinence.
Jamie, what was yours?
I will agree that was the match, but my spot of the night of this was definitely Tony Storm putting John Cena through a table, for sure.
My match of the night, surprisingly enough, and you guys are going to love this, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Shotzi and Ember Moon.
Damn good match.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was because that's the one that surprised me in how good it was, and I love nothing more than a pay-per-view that starts off with just a straight banger. So
we got one.
That was the match of the night for me. So all right,
I'm mad at you.
So what about Edge? Edge wasn't there.
Oh no! I said I ain't mad at you.
Yeah. We don't talk about geriatric wrestlers who got the spot at WrestleMania over guys who've been working their ass off.
Oh, God.
That's right.
There goes my blood pressure. It's creeping up now. Thanks. So let's talk about it real quick. So I'm gonna transition as seamlessly as possible into half-ass recap here for both SmackDown and for Raw. I'm just gonna plow through this stuff too because there's a couple things here and there that I want to focus on. Starting with SmackDown, you began the night with Roman Reigns confronting Adam Pearce, and telling him what's going to happen for Elimination Chamber. Adam Pearce then announces that the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match is going to be the 6 competitors, male competitors, and the winner of that match will fight Roman Reigns later on in the same night for the Universal title. So moral of that story is there's no women's elimination chamber this year, which doesn't surprise you if you look at what they're doing with Raw and SmackDown's women's roster. He also announces Jey Uso and Kevin Owens as the first 2 members of the Elimination Chamber on SmackDown. Follow that up with first qualifier of the night. It's going to be the Mysterios, Dominic and Rey Mysterio versus Corbin and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin. They win it. They're going to the Elimination Chamber. And then you go backstage. Reginald's delivering a drink to Sasha Banks ominously. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Reginald. So done with this guy. Big E versus Nakamura is next, which makes me just feel sad for Nakamura. It's like, look what they've done to you. You were the biggest when he signed with NXT. It was at the time the biggest holy shit moment. Like, this guy actually signed with Shinsuke Nakamura. Actually signed with WWE, and whatever. Big E won. There was interference by Apollo Crews. They're 50-50 booking. Who knows what's going on? After that was one of the few moments of the night I do want to just briefly talk about. And it was Seth Rollins returning to WWE. So he came out and addressed the whole locker room. If this looks familiar, it's because it is almost exactly what he did on Raw. What was it, year and a half ago, whenever he started the whole Messiah shtick or whatever. But the whole locker room was out there. He starts addressing them. His old music is back, by the way. Also, something that's new with him is leather. And I mean leather on leather on leather. He had a leather suit, sport coat, leather pants, with a leather button-up shirt and a leather tie. And that's a lot of leather for any man, let alone, CrossFit Jesus. So,
I mean, even like a dominatrix is like, Jesus, you need to settle down on the leather, buddy.
Right. Mistress T is sitting over saying, "Ooh, that's too much leather."
I'll pay the food.
So-
What is that much?
So he starts off but his old music's back, so that's cool and all. So you're thinking, okay, cool. So he starts off by talking about greatest thing that happened to him, having a daughter. Good, actual real world segment, type of bringing it in. This means he's changed. He's not going to be the Messiah anymore. Nah, no, fuck that. He's the same guy. So everybody starts to leave. Cesaro's the only one left, and Cesaro kind of just looks at him and then finally like, fuck it, and he walks off. And then of course Rollins goes after Cesaro. Whatever. I don't know I have no idea what they're doing with that. Cesaro, Daniel Bryan comes out to save Cesaro. We've seen that feud already with Rollins and Bryan. Yeah, Rollins is back. Yay. So how do you follow that up? You follow that up by making JJ so happy and have Bayley versus Liv Morgan. So I don't know what the hell they're doing with Bayley. I really don't. Bayley released a tweet today that said she would love to fight Io Shirai. That's the first thing that I thought in months that there's something for Bayley to actually do that might be worth my watch, because this storyline which is obviously going nowhere. It does nobody any good. It makes JJ angry because JJ really likes Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. Hey, Ruby. And I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Billie Kay comes out with her apology resume. It's her headshot, but it's got Ruby and Liv's faces on it, and a big and Ruby's just like frustrated. She takes them and like throws them to the side, but that of course goes directly in the ring, and that makes the referee become a janitor all of a sudden, and Bayley rakes the eyes, gets the win. It's what's the point? Why are we doing this? So JJ mad with that. Follow that up with a Street Profits versus Otis and Chad Gable match. Otis and Chad Gable, who are both in perfectly fine tag teams, are now in a tag team with each other. I mean, Gable's even wearing an American Alpha jacket, like just to piss on us, I guess. I don't know. Street Profits win. Street Profits look great, of course. Montez Ford is a freak. He is so undervalued. He would be a top guy on any other promotion. I think we can all agree on that.
Did you see that I like to call that the smoke star frog splash? Because yes. Jesus Christ, like I've never seen anybody get that high. Like RVD gets high, but not that kind of high. If you know what I'm saying.
He's higher than Matt Riddle. Anyway,
wow,
Street Profits won.
Nick. Fuck you, Nick. Not even a pity laugh.
Are you texting? I see your video. You're like texting somebody, and you're.
I was checking our Twitter feed.
God damn it! That is fucking Nick. That is at Total Spotfest.
Total Spotfest.
All right, next match: Sasha Banks. No, it wasn't even a match. This is okay. So Sasha Banks comes out to talk to Bianca Belair. So like, finally, something I can get. They're going to start this so they can have this at Mania. Everybody knows this is where it's going. This should be good-ish, right? This would be something, okay? No, because they get interrupted by. So you thought I was going to say Carmella, but actually it was Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Because why the fuck not? You know. They actually played the My Hole video, so now WWE has totally abandoned the whole scrubbing of My Hole, and they're embracing it when they found out that it owned the internet last week. And, you know, Sasha and Bianca, who never said a bad word to each other, they're now like beating up on Nia and Shayna. If they give them a title shot before the Riot Squad, I might just drive to Connecticut and burn down WWE headquarters. It very well could happen.
You might as well start buying some supplies, because you know that's what's going to happen. You know that's what's going to happen. I'm sorry. Just start emotionally adjusting to it.
And it's a damn shame, too.
My God. I mean, you know, just... Finally, they end the night with Ziggler and Rude versus Cesaro and Daniel Bryan as the other qualifier. Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, they're going to Elimination Chamber. SmackDown was, as you know, we've said before, SmackDown has been the better of the shows for several months now. This was not the case. This was shit on a stick that was covered in shit and then deep fried. And then served on a KU Jayhawks football platter with more shit. There was shit on shit on shit on shit on shit.
I don't appreciate that, but you're accurate.
I said football to make it better for you, okay?
I know. Hey, Adidas is paying the bills, baby. Adidas is paying the bills.
Okay, completely off subject, but I do love the fact, and I said last week, Jamie's a KU guy, I'm an MU guy, so we do have college rivalry thing. I did find it hilarious that Twitter is just blowing up because Bob Self said today in an interview that because of all the investigations going on, it's hampered their recruiting, and it's like, well, no shit, you get caught paying, you know, recruits' families with Adidas money, and that might hurt your recruiting. All right, sorry.
Yeah, shocker.
The internet was not kind to his comments. The internet did to him what we all did to Nia Jax's hole. Wow, that sounded bad. Sorry.
That's okay.
But did it really though?
I don't think it really did. So that was SmackDown. It was bad. Raw surprisingly raised the bar from that. It is not hard because that episode was so crap. Now Raw has been terrible.
I'm glad I missed SmackDown, man.
You didn't miss anything.
Well, hold on.
But before JJ's sitting there watching it, thinking to himself in the second half, I am missing the first period of the St. Louis Blues game for this. Really?
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
But
no, I shouldn't have.
But the big thing, my big story from this was actually what happened after SmackDown. Because we all agree that SmackDown sucked. But Cesaro's promo on the Smack Talk or whatever,
right.
The after
Jesus,
show,
I got chills from that. It was so damn good. Like, he
was
basically just said, like, you work hard. I love this. I've never got a title shot, but I love it, and I'd never trade it for anything. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, that made me love him that much more, and why he deserves a title shot more than anybody on the damn roster. Because, I mean, he has put in his dues, and he's done the Swiss Superman, and then the James Bond shtick, and all these other bullshit things, and the people, yeah, and yeah. Oh God, I forgot about that.
How is he a true American? He's Swiss. Whatever. That was great. If you haven't checked that out, go to our Twitter. That is at Total Spotfest, and that we did retweet that video. Fantastic. Cesaro is Well, I mean, he just signed a new contract for a boatload of money, so of course he's going to say, yeah, he loves this shit. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah. That was SmackDown. Raw, on the other hand, actually was halfway. It ended up being okay. I know that's a very low bar there, and here's why I'll say that. So, started off Miz TV with Drew McIntyre. Yeah, snooze fest, no one cares. Miz removed himself from the Elimination Chamber, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Everything good's going to be in the last bit, so I'm just going to plow through all the crap here. Riddle, Lucha House Party was the first match. They fought off against the Hurt Business. Riddle and Lucha House Party won. Okay, sure. It led to Lashley just completely murdering Riddle again.
Did we already see this like 6 consecutive weeks?
Yeah.
This is the male equivalent of Lana being put through a table.
Okay.
The next part I know is going to get you both super excited because backstage we have Mandy Rose. Everyone loves Mandy Rose, right?
Mm-hmm. She looked fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I know, so fantastic. So, what was her angle for this show? To flirt with Bad Bunny in the backstage area.
Yep.
It's Bad Bunny.
Fucker. And that's all she was there for. She was wearing his shirt. I'm wearing your shirt, and it's just like, God, what are they doing to you, Mandy? Even the thing with Otis is better than this crap. But yeah, she's just back there to flirt with Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
And then Kira Tozawa in front of them pins R-Truth, and then Damian Priest knocks out R-Truth and lets Bad Bunny win the 24/7 title. So Bad Bunny is officially a champion in WWE.
He's Bad Bunny.
I can't wait for WrestleMania weekend to be over so that because it's going to be, everybody knows it's going to be Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison at WrestleMania. Please make it stop, but that's what's happening.
Yeah.
They'll never make it stop. Playa.
I did read somewhere he actually is working out at the Performance Center, so kudos, at least that, at least he's giving it
and he's even inspired Bow Wow. Bow Wow's been getting a lot of heat for it too. It's like
Bow Wow
X
is
Pac
going to
his
show
ass.
up.
It's hilarious.
He'll probably show up and interfere to help Bad Bunny get the win at WrestleMania. That's probably what the fuck's going to happen because the wrestling gods hate me, I guess.
Yeah, he's like Bad Bunny be like, he's Bad Bunny. No, wait. It's Bow Wow.
They're going to be
Bow
a
Wow
tag
has
team
been fighting
called
back.
Bad
I'll
Bow
give him
Wow.
that. Yeah.
God damn. God. Oh, WWE, how I loathe you. Okay, proceed.
Moving into actual tag team news. Here comes the New Day next. They're going backstage, interrupting Adam Pearce.
Well, hold on. I'm sorry, JJ. I love you. I don't mean to speak out of turn.
No,
but
please.
there was something that just gave me douche chills, like some COVID-19 level douche chills. You gotta talk about Ric Flair.
Oh, that's coming.
I'm not there yet, dude.
Oh, no, dude, I'm sorry.
You didn't watch this goddamn show, and you're telling me that I'm out of order?
No, it's totally my fault.
I'm
not out of order. This whole court's out of order.
That is coming. I want to get through the crap first so I can get there. Okay, don't worry, buddy. I got you. All right?
Yeah, my blood's a boiling, ready for this one. So yeah, let's just get to it.
I'm trying to keep it so we don't lose to all of our shit.
Sorry,
so.
JJ. My bad,
All right,
man.
You're not sorry, but that's okay. New Day behind the stage, interrupt Adam Cole. Kofi is now vying to, because he should be in the Elimination Chamber. And you think about it, there's 3 heels and 2 faces. Yeah, it's going to be Kofi. But Kofi it was confronted by, they brought in Miz. Miz is trying to get Morrison into the Elimination Chamber. So your main event before the gauntlet match tonight, because there's a gauntlet match for all the EC competitors, is going to be Kofi and Miz to determine if it's going to be Kofi or going to be Morrison as the 6th person in the chamber. I do love that Xavier Woods starts off this whole stick with asking Adam Pearce why he has not been given the opportunity to settle his feud with Retribution by fighting Reckoning, Mia Yim. I love it. He's not letting it drop. Please, the one thing that will redeem this show, give me Mia Yim versus Xavier Woods. Give it to me. Yes, please. Won't happen.
Which also we'd like to congratulate Mia Yim and Keith Lee on their engagement.
getting married. About time he dropped on that knee and popped the question, Keith. But absolutely. So after this is when there's a tag team match between Charlotte and Asuka versus Peyton and Lacey Evans. So you were just one section ahead.
I'm sorry,
That's
man.
all.
I feel terrible.
So this match, as Nick feels terrible, this match was fucking terrible. Okay. At least Ric Flair didn't need a walker to get to the ring tonight, but it was bad. Asuka's your champion, and you forgot she was even at the ring in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
Peyton's getting bad. Everything's bad. Everything's bad. The turn happens, and we're going to talk about this for a hot minute because it deserves it. But the turn happens that Peyton tags in, begrudgingly, I would say, tags Lacey Evans in. And Charlotte's in the ring. She's like, come on, let's go. And she's like, no, I'm not getting in the ring. And so she's pulling that, I don't want to face you, whatever, the bitch move. We've seen it a million times. Mm-hmm. She backs down off the ring, starts walking up the ramp, gets a microphone, says she's not going to face her because she's pregnant, presumably with Ric Flair's baby.
Fucking ridiculous. That's all I gotta say. Fucking ridiculous. Jesus Christ. Bruce Pritchard. This is a fucking Bruce Pritchard thing all over. Okay, I'm going. I'm fucking going on this. So first off, she actually is legit.
I knew you were.
Yeah, she's legit pregnant. She's legit fucking pregnant.
That's the thing. She's actually pregnant. They've cuckolded her fucking husband. Okay, I'm stopping.
Yeah,
go.
She got pregnant by her real husband, but then of course Bruce Pritchard's like, hey, we can work this in the fucking angle, guys. So this is what we're gonna do, Rick. We're gonna say you got your 85-year-old semen in her, and then now you're the daddy, and this is gonna make everything better, and everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, it's Ric Flair, woo, and everybody's gonna love it, right? No. Not one fucking person on the face of the earth loves it. And you know who doesn't love it more than me? More than me is fucking Charlotte. If you could just see her face. You saw her face. Like, she's like, I'm fucking in this storyline. We apologize to you, Charlotte, on Twitter. You know, our Twitter at Total Spotfest. But, you know, it was just like, fucking A. Like, oh my God. Sorry. I'm done. Because this is why beautiful. I don't watch Raw anymore, because of bullshit like this and Bruce Pritchard doing the dumbest fucking things of saying that 85-year-old Ric Flair got 20-something-year-old Lacey Evans pregnant. Not believable at all.
Well, see, you know what? And that's the thing. I mean, the whole thing's dumb as hell on its face, but we come from the Attitude Era, so we like our Jerry Springer stuff here and there, but it's got to be good. You can't just throw out something like that, and it just it's so bad. It's so bad. I felt embarrassed in the privacy of my own home viewing it. I should not feel embarrassed for people that I don't know personally.
It made you sick. And the last two things before we continue forward that drove me just insane. First of all, like I said, hey, you know, her fucking husband, it's like, you better get a goddamn pay raise, would I be telling her, because he's a cuckold. If you remember, it was a little over a year ago that Lacey was in a big angle against Sasha Banks as the family woman with her husband and 12-year-old daughter at ringside for the whole fucking
That's
thing.
Right, yeah.
Oh, don't even worry about that. That doesn't exist anymore. She's just fucking Ric Flair. Come on. Come the fuck on.
It's
and
true.
The second thing is like, so there's no Asuka. You know, so there's no, is there not going to be a title match? Are you just going to have her squash Peyton on the pre-show this Sunday? Probably. I mean, come on. What the fuck? Why you even start this? It does give them an out to turn Rick back to face, and it's like, you don't even need to. Rick needs to goddamn retire. He should be doing book signings, and that's about it.
It's enough with Ric Flair already. It is enough with Ric Flair already. Now, look, he, in my opinion, is the Michael Jordan equivalent.
He's the greatest. I go back and forth about getting a Ric Flair tattoo all the time.
Michael Jordan is not in the middle of every game looking stupid, ruining his legacy. Let Ric Flair go. Send him out to pasture.
Does he need the money? I think he does. Anyway.
Then he needs to get Cameo, and then people will be ordering shit left and right from him. Because if he got a Cameo, I would totally get one for Nick. I would totally get one. It's like,
absolutely.
And I would happily accept.
Yeah. See? We do that. Just not the father shit.
Unfortunately, this is not going away because, unlike Becky, where they just let her we're gonna pay you indefinitely, take however much time you need off to have a whole family, and we don't give a shit. They're gonna draw this out on TV every Monday for us, so look forward to that.
I mean, even Hornswoggle McMahon is like, God damn, this is a dumb storyline.
I know.
For all those who don't remember that.
I can't think of an angle more just stupid. There's poorly done, like it always has to do with sex somehow. There was an angle in TNA back when AJ Styles was the champion, top guy. There's an angle they did where I can't remember who it was. Was it Kazarian? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But there was this girl, Claire, and he was having an affair with Claire. And it's like, no, you slept with Dixie Carter. And then it was terrible. It was a terrible angle. This beats it, not even by a close measure. This is just leaps and bounds. Just one of the worst angles I think I've seen in God knows how long.
The last time I felt like this was what's his name, and Lana. That giant dude.
Oh, yeah, Lashley and Lana.
And Lana. That's the last time that I felt like this, but this is just so much worse.
They're openly, they have gone into a cuckold promote. That's Bruce Pritchard's new thing. It's like, who can I cuckold this year, Yeah.
They need to send him out to pasture, too.
Well,
yes, please, for all of us.
All right, after this,
yes,
there was an actual good. There was the first of the night. There was an actual wrestling match that was actually watchable, and it was actually a good one. Kofi and The Miz, a decent Kofi. So good to see Kofi, especially after all this shit that we've seen for the last hour and a half. It was good. It was a good match. Kofi ended up winning. Sets him up for, he's now in the Elimination Chamber. And surprise, he's in the Gauntlet match coming up in a few minutes. Follow that up with a promo by Randy Orton. Randy Orton starts going off, and Randy's always good on the mic. Gets interrupted halfway through it by a returning Alexa Bliss, thank God. And Alexa is now sitting in a dark room. The fun house is what it looks like. It's a darkened fun house. She's doing a seance. It pans up, and she's in a pentagram with a bunch of candles, and talking about how the Fiend is going to be reborn. So doing this whole, like, evil Jesus angle. This is one of the few bits, Jamie has said this before, I agree with him completely, that this is one of the few bits of long-term storytelling that WWE RAW or SmackDown is doing well. So
I got to jump in on that.
I know you've had some issues with that.
No, I don't really have any issues with it. I saw on Twitter that there were some people up in arms because there was a pentagram, and it was like, I didn't take it that way at all. And I didn't take it negatively because Firefly Funhouse is, I've loved it for a while, but in this particular case, there was two things that came to mind to where it kind of cheapened it for me, to where it's like, maybe it's not that good. Was number one, it very directly reminded me of the Scarlett Bordeaux interludes on AEW. It reminded me of NXT. Thank you. It reminded me of that, and then it just reminded me of Bride of Chucky. And so
she has a Bride
things,
of Chucky look to her.
Yeah, so it wasn't bad. I'm not knocking it. It was those two things came to mind. It just kind of took away from it for me personally. But I love Firefly Funhouse, so by all means continue.
Well, anyway, it's a good way to bring it back in. The pentagram thing, whatever. Get over it, people.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Bray Wyatt always ended the Funhouse when it first started, like, "Bye, see you in hell."
Yeah,
so, come on, which was hilarious. I love that. So Follow that up with the gauntlet match, which was actually, I will give them this. The last several times they've done gauntlet matches, they've been just really good matches. Everybody remembers from about 2 years ago, the Seth Rollins gauntlet match that was like an hour and a half long. That was fucking fire. Kofi Kingston during Kofi Mania. I mean, they could do a gauntlet match. And this did not disappoint. This is why I say the show was okay. Because at the end of it, you had some decent ass wrestling, you know? AJ versus Kofi to start. AJ wins. I mean, all these matches are matches I would like to see. AJ versus Kofi. AJ wins. AJ versus Drew McIntyre, which you think Drew is going to squash him, and it wasn't. AJ still on top of his game. Maybe not the tip top like he was like when he was in like New Japan. Like at the end of TNA, New Japan was when he was like probably the best he had been, you know, technically. But he still got it. They put on a good match. Drew won. Drew versus Jeff Hardy. This wasn't terribly long. Drew won that as well. Then you have Drew versus Randy Orton. That goes on not so long because we've seen this 8,000 times this year. But it ends with Orton goes to the outside, and that's where the lights start to flicker. They do their Firefly thing. And then instead of the lights going out, they did something different, which I've been begging for them to do with this whole blackout stuff, is that they have Alexa Bliss starts to show in kind of this ominous look on a couple of the screens, and then a couple more screens. And she takes over every box on the entire Thunderdome, along with the Titantron, the overhead video camera. Every screen is Alexa Bliss. And it was you guys are both horror movie fans. I'm not so big into horror movie, but it had that horror movie vibe. You could probably even make reference to a horror movie it reminded you of, but it causes Orton to get counted out. And then it ends with Drew and Sheamus, of course. Sheamus ends up beating him. Sheamus is going to be the last entrant in the Elimination Chamber. That was Raw.
I'm sick of seeing all these guys.
Oh, 50-50.
I'm sick of seeing everybody's face that's on Raw with the exception of one or two people.
I mean,
I'm just sick to death of seeing.
50-50 bookie is alive and well. I even forgot to mention the Lana and Shayna match because it's just more 50-50 booking. Who gives a shit, you know? Don't forget that. Lana and Naomi are your number one contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championship, which, again, makes JJ very angry. So that was Raw. It's just it's dumb. So, Raw, it had some decent matches at the end of it, but fucking Ric Flair, 50-50 booking all over the place. Elsewhere, Bad Bunny. You know,
Bad Bunny.
The last, hour was actually good because they got past the Ric Flair bullshit. They had some decent wrestling matches, and it gives you that glimmer of hope that maybe they can do this. They won't. They'll fuck it up. So, we'll see what happens next week. Elimination Chamber this Sunday. I'm gonna check it out. Probably not live. I'll speed watch it later on. But
you guys like Elimination Chamber, like the concept?
I do like that. I thought
the first time I went into it, I was thinking the whole 13 goes thing. I'm like, oh, that's badass. And then I watched it and I was really underwhelmed. And I've never really. I've watched plenty of them, and I'm like, this is stupid.
I like the idea behind it. There's some that could be good. I just feel that. Lately they just don't do anything good with them. Like last year, like the women's EC where they had Shayna Baszler just destroy everybody and then at the very end get beat. It's the same exact thing they did the year before with Braun Strowman where he just obliterates everybody and then gets beat out of nowhere at the end. It's so
stupid.
The first one was just stupid because they had no idea what to do, and the people that made it way too hard, and they were getting legit injured from the start. So there's a great story on ESPN that talks about that. They interviewed Shawn Michaels and Triple H because they're the ones who came up with the idea, and the people who put it together wrong-ish, whatever. But yeah. So that was Raw. That was SmackDown.
Oh man, I forgot. We still got good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I'm trying to get away from it because I want to get to the good stuff. So, Jamie, we saw on Monday AEW show us something different. Thank God.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yes, they did. It was the Japanese side of the Women's Champion Eliminator Tournament bracket.
It's too long a title. It's too damn long.
Well, the hashtag is just women's tournament, which I love. It's like, okay, the women's championship tournament. I'm not calling it eliminator because that's just.
I mean, the hashtag's too long too, but sure.
So this was 100% shot over in Japan. Hikaru Shida was there, so she actually did commentary for it on the Japanese one, which they did Excalibur doing for the Monday at 6 Central, and then they did a redoing of it of the Japanese one, which actually was quite entertaining. I decided to give it a go.
You did watch it?
Couldn't understand a word that they said, but damn it, they got animated and it was fun.
Oh, Ogasaka!
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, dude, I love it. It's like, you go, you do you. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying, but yeah. All right, so I only got one right of the entire bracket. Like, that's how wrong I was. So, the very first match was Mei Suruga versus Yuka Sakazaki. Mei Suruga is just adorable. Like, she looks like she's 13 years old, just this little thing, just cute as a button, but no, she's like 20 something. Very green in her career, going against
very green.
Going against a legit veteran and Yuka Sakazaki, who's been on AEW, who's done it and been in, quite a few matches here on American soil. And it was actually a very entertaining match. Very Japanese. If you don't understand Japanese wrestling, you probably didn't like it, Nick. But it was really good. And it was Yuka Sakazaki winning with the top rope 450 splash. I forgot what she calls it, but it is a beautiful move. She is highly athletic, and it was a very enjoyable match. But that was the one I got right. Gents, did you have this one?
That's the one I got right too.
I told you I didn't even pick. I was scared. I didn't want to handle the loss.
Yeah.
May definitely has a future, but she is very green.
Dude, she was bridging out of everything. She was a bridge machine. I'm like she was doing submission into a bridge. She's like 1, 2, bridge out. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, like the bridges of Madison County are like, that's a lot of bridges. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're reaching for that.
Whatever. Add bridge in the title. All right. So the next match was the GOAT, if you will, and Emi Sakura versus Veni, which is the transgender wrestler. And this, in my opinion, was the match of the night. I thought it was amazing.
This is the best of the four, in my opinion, too.
Yeah, it was just damn good. Veni was athletic as hell, did a lot of great moves. Emi Sakura, so this is going to be go with me with this. She is like the Dean Malenko of this women's tournament. Like, she's got 100%. Like 1,000 moves, 1,000 holds, if you will. Not Chris Jericho's 1,004.
Well, I was gonna say, who's the 1,004 moves on this tournament? Then we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know that yet, but she definitely is the woman of 1,000 holds for sure. Because she was throwing out shit I've never seen, and I was there for it. It was a really good match. Emi Sakura ended up winning, but Veni showed out, and I personally think her style would be huge in the United States. Like,
she doesn't follow necessarily the traditional female Japanese style.
No,
and I don't want to get into please don't comment. Oh, it's because she's transgender. Stop it. It's 2021. Grow the fuck up. I think that she did a standing like jump up from the 3 feet away from the corner onto the top turnbuckle. I mean, she has got athleticism to boot. Speaking of boot, she booted out one of Emmy's teeth in the middle of the match.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has some great kicks. I mean, she is good. Emmy, which I'm glad Emmy was not in the whole Freddie Mercury thing again. So it's good to see her in a different garb. She's got Dean Malenko. She's trained like half the women that are on this particular card. She's worth it. So it was great. Vinny, though, I'm with you. She's got a style that translates to America, I think. she needs to get over here sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one a lot. Aesthetically, you guys brought up the Freddie Mercury bit. Aesthetically, I've never been able to get on board with Emi Sakura, but goddamn, as a technician, she is so good. Watching the match was fantastic, and just the variety of things that she does and how skillfully she executes them all is right on point. As far as Venny goes, good things up ahead. One thing that she does that stood out to me, ironically, is how well she sold Emmy with all those.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and by the way, my God, those chops from Emi Sakura. Oh my God, dude, they were like
stiff.
They were like thunderclaps.
But okay, so in general, can you just like all the matches? They seemed all stiff as fuck. Like
They did.
every single one. Like those punches look like they connected. Like I swear to God, I thought Mei Sakura, Suruga's face was gonna get welted up because she took some shots to the face. And so
Especially
did
the
Maki
last
Ito.
one, which we'll get to the last one. That's the one where you really saw the stiffness come out.
Yeah.
But how about Vinny at the end too, keeping that darkness to her and you know, like not wanting to shake hands afterwards, giving a kick to
Yeah, that was good.
I mean, it's like, yes, I love the character work. Good.
Yes. My favorite part of that whole match was when she did the running shooting star press. Like,
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Oh, yeah.
holy shit. Like I've never seen like that in a ring other than like what 3 men, period. So level of athleticism is off the charts. But yeah, it was just a beautiful thing to see. And like we were saying, her style translates better for US and I think she is gonna be a star in the US for sure.
I hope so.
So the next match, one, fuck this match, and then two,
JJ not happy.
fuck this match. So it was our pick to make the finals in Maki Ito versus Ryo Mizunami, and Ryo Mizunami won,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not happy about it at all.
She
It
looked
ruined my day.
good. She looked good. Give it to Ryo. I will give her her due. She did look good. She's got that good skill set. But come on, Maki Ito is a star in the making.
Oh, so Twitter went nuts about this
Oh my
match.
God, Twitter blew the fuck up.
It was great. But the thing that pissed me off about this match, it was still a really good match. Don't get me wrong. It was a great match. We got to see Maki Ito do some of her big things, like when she does the run and falls off to the side and hits him in the stomach with her head.
Great.
But Ryo Mizunami didn't sell that much, and that kind of pissed me off because I understand she's doing more of that Japanese strong style where they don't sell near as much as you do on other things. But it just irritated me because I thought it was a good match, and other than that piece.
I mean, it just might be one of those things where maybe they just didn't match up well together. You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you get those wrestlers where it just doesn't. No fault to them specifically, but it just doesn't work out. I don't know. I felt like of the matches, Yuka Sakazaki and Mei Segura, I felt because Mei obviously green, I thought that was maybe the lowest tier of those 4 matches, and this was right above it, unfortunately, because I really wanted to see Maki. And you know, Ryo did nothing for Maki. Maki kept trying to, and you're right. I don't know why she was like that, but it ended up making the match just kind of more meh, which I never wanted to say. But I do love Ryo's or Maki Ito's responses since the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and one last thing about this match, because you know me, when she got Maki Ito had Ryo Mizunami by the legs, and she started to turn her over, and I'm like, it's a fucking lion tamer. Let's go, lion tamer, the Boston Crab. I'm like, God,
you caught that. All Jamie lives for is seeing lion tamers. That's pretty much it. Lion tamers, Canadian destroyers. That's all he wants to see all the time, especially lion tamers. So.
Lion tamers for sure. Like if you ever go to a live event with me, or if you ever at a live event in the Kansas City area and you hear somebody yell out lion tamer really loud, that's me.
That
That's
is
a
Jamie.
skay.
That is Jamie.
Um,
She does do a lion tamer. I have seen her do it.
but then she just did it into a freaking regular
Boston Crab,
Walls of
yeah.
Jericho.
Well,
Boston
she didn't flip anybody. She didn't flip her off. So to me, it kind of felt like it was Maki Ito for TV.
It's a little restrained.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's on purpose. Maybe if there are plans for her to come over to the States. Maybe if she has other plans or she didn't want to interfere with kind of some of her character work that she's doing in a different promotion. Maybe she, I don't think she'll go to Stardom, but maybe some other promotion in Japan. I don't know, but it felt like Maki Ito light almost from the stuff I'd seen her work, her videos, to this. Even the description from what's his face? Yeah, that guy. Guy commentary, fucking help me, guys.
Excalibur.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm here drowning. Just
I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now. Fucking like, what day is
but
it?
no, even the commentary from Excalibur, giving the backstory on her, he glossed over a lot of stuff that gives her part of what her character is. So it is what it is.
Well, I think we all can agree we're part of the Maki Ito simp army.
Oh yeah.
So
Maki Ito for Dark Order, make it happen, people.
Yes. Oh my God. So
She started that too. That was all her.
So then John Silver goes, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, to Silver, she responded back, total perfect, like, "What's up, simp?" I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yes.
And
Make
Silver
this
give her
happen.
a winky face emoji back, and it's like,
Yeah.
ah.
Yes.
Perfect.
So please bring her to the Dark Order. That'd be amazing. All right. So for the final match of the night, the end of the first round was legit the GOAT. The everybody knows this name of Asia Kong going against a young Rin Kadokura. Rin looked really damn good.
I didn't know what to expect, but I liked what I saw.
Yeah, she was fast, agile, athletic again. Like, she reminded me a lot of Hikaru Shida, really, with like her build and the way that she wrestled. But then again, you have Asia Kong doing Japanese strong style. Homegirl does not like to sell. Like, I mean, Sid Vicious style. Vader. She no-sold like Vader. She did do a Vader bomb out of the corner. There's a couple decent spots. Asia Kong, unfortunately, was the one who picked up the win. I was kind of hoping for an upset, but she deserves it. She's Asia Kong. Still a good match because I think honestly Ren carried that match because Asia Kong's old. She doesn't move around like she used to. But Ren definitely, I think, did a hell of a job.
It makes a good second round match with Asia and Ryo.
Yeah,
it really does.
So the second round matchups. Let's talk about these mothers for a second. So you got Sakazaki versus going against Sakura. We've already seen that in the States once. And then you got Mizunami going against Kong. You got the two heavyweights going at it. So those are two big ass matches. And it was announced on the show that the finale, the winner of the tournament, will face Hikaru Shida at Revolution on March 7th. I figured they'd have the finale there, but no, they're actually going to do it where the winner faces Shida at Revolution.
When are they going to do the rest? They have one women's match tomorrow night, or tonight, I guess, if you're listening to this on Wednesday the 17th on Dynamite. Serena Deeb and Rhea. When are they going to do the rest? They don't even finish. They're halfway through the U.S. side of the first round.
Yeah, I expect
2.5 weeks to get all these other matches in. When are they going to do them?
They might do a dark with all of them.
I think
hope
that's
so.
what they'll end up doing. Yeah.
I want to see them. I want to see the rest of this. If anything, this got me more amped, and I want to see more of the AEW for the first time in a while actually has something going with their women's division. Let's not screw this up, guys. Come on.
Yeah. So in closing, man, I personally think these Japanese women showed out. I thought there was lots and lots of positives. I mean, lots of the Japanese style women's wrestling that has, a certain shtick to it, but oh God, I thought it was great. Vinny looked like a star. Maki Ito looked like a star. Hell, Mei Suruga looks like she'll be something in the future. And Rin Kadokura, like, let's put a pin in that one because I bet we hear that name not too long in the distant future.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So Ninth Wonder Nick, what caught your eye out of this tournament?
I enjoyed these matches very much. The one thing that stood out to me, and this is just because I'm uninitiated, outside of Kenny Omega brought something from Japan with him, and that is just how emphatic the Japanese wrestlers are with everything. And I think that is highly lagging in most of American wrestling. So watching all these matches, even the ones that weren't quite as good, they're a lot of fun to watch. You get energized when you're watching them, and you enjoy the characters without understanding a word of what they're saying. It doesn't matter because it's just all in their actions, their expressions. That was what stood out to me. But again, that's probably obvious to everybody else.
Well, if you don't watch a lot of Japanese wrestling, it's a great point to make, because I think that, you know, your point there, especially, you know, the moral of the story is to give it a shot. You know, Japanese wrestling has its place, and for all you marks out there, you know, you just gotta take it for what it is. You can't go in expecting one thing and then you're like, oh, this is shit. You'll just sound like Jim Cornette. You know. You're like, oh, I'll tell you what was a match. What was really a match was when they had Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat back in '84. You know, that's the only fucking thing he. Okay, I'm not getting on Jim Cornette.
No Cornette.
Yep. I can't do impressions anyway. But no, I think that's a great point, Nick. But yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of this, as you all know. You can tell I got giddy about it. So, yeah. So, was there any big spotlight on it? Move of the night that you saw that was really sick, like Maki Ito's Canadian Maple Leaf that made Lance Storm blush because it was so good?
You know what? The one that stood out to me, and it was just because it was so different, was Maki Ito's, I don't even know what you call it, but it was kind of like a coffin drop, but it was a headbutt where she just kind of falls over and headbutted what's her name in the gut. And it wasn't like, I wasn't watching it thinking like, oh, you know, like it wasn't like that. It was just like, never seen that before.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so good. Yeah, overall, yeah, nothing really stood out to me specifically, but yeah, I think that everything about it was great. So anyway, I'm excited to see the next round. I really can't wait to see the rest of the U.S. side. Let's do them rapid fire on next week's Dark. I don't care. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. Get to the point. Let's get these matches done.
Yeah, I'm counting on them doing that.
They have to. They have 2.5 weeks until Revolution. So, well, we're going to find out more tonight because coming up on Friday, we will talk about what happens later today with Dynamite, with the fallout from TakeOver from NXT, and anything else that we have going on.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped for Wednesday for the fallout from Vengeance Day and to see what happens on NXT or on AEW with, you know.
I think that this week NXT is gonna beat them in the ratings just because of the NXT. I mean that UE angle. Come on. I think this will be the first time they beat them in a while for ratings.
That's just a bold statement, but this whole Inner Circle thing, that's a big thing going on too with Sammy, who was supposed to be on Impact, which we'll talk about on Friday. But yeah. So
if they do, they will have earned it.
Yeah, agreed.
So it's a post pay-per-view show, so I have no worries about that. You guys, got any final thoughts you want to wrap up with today? Anything at all?
It was a good week.
It was a good week until Monday Night Raw. Because Monday Night Raw can go fuck itself.
That's the mostly part. Even though there was actually decent wrestling, which too little, too late. But all right, well, thank you guys for joining us again. We're gonna wrap it up here. Please join us again on Friday. Follow us on Twitter as @TotalSpotFest. If you had not heard that, you don't have ears because we've only plugged it 83 times. So please go check us out on YouTube as well. We are available, of course, on all your favorite podcast providers: Apple, Pandora, finally, Apple, Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google all of them. We're all over the place. Total Spotfest. Also, you can find us on YouTube. Like I said, just search inside of YouTube for Total Spotfest Live. You will see us there. Please give us your comments in YouTube or on Twitter. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about, anything that you liked or didn't like. You definitely can say you don't like Nick. Most people do.
Everybody
will not
is
take
fine.
We will not take offense to it.
I'm a glutton for punishment.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Any final thoughts here, Nick?
Nah, man. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I guess tonight technically, and
right.
And then getting back together with you guys Thursday.
Let's do it. We'll be ready for Friday. Jamie?
The only thing I got for you is if you're not down with TSL, I got 2 words for you. Maki Ito.
That's it. All right. Thank you guys. See you next time.